Hello everyone, my name is Neeraj Tiwari. My roll number is 021. My group is 71 and I am from B.Tech CSE 4th year, and today I am going to give a presentation, and the topic of my presentation is metabolism. What is metabolism? So basically metabolism is one of the most important chemical reaction or chain of biochemical reactions which occur in human body to produce energy. Metabolism is the sum of all chemical reactions occurring within a cell or organism. Through metabolism, living cells use nutrients in many chemical reactions that provide energy for vital processes and activities. So, certain complex compounds which are taken in the form of food, such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, by a living organism or a human body, are broken down into simpler substances, and during the breaking, the energy which is released is used for the cellular work or cellular respiration. There are basically two types of metabolism: catabolism and anabolism. So catabolism is known as exothermic process as it releases energy during its processing. Catabolism is a type of metabolic process occurring in living cells by which complex molecules are broken down to produce energy. The second one is anabolism. Anabolism is a constructive metabolic process that uses energy to combine simple substances such as amino acids in the creation of complex cell structure and compounds. To work to work efficiently, metabolism undergoes certain steps. One of them is the glycolysis, or the step one under metabolism is the glycolysis. So basically, glycolysis is the processing of glucose molecules to produce energy and to pyruvate cells. So as we all know, enzymes are the proteins which are synthesized in cells. They basically act as catalyst, causing all the body's chemical processes to take place quickly and completely. So enzymes break glucose molecule in half, forming two 3-carbon molecules. These molecules are called pyruvic acid or pyruvate. This process is called glycolysis, and it occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell in both living organisms and non-living organisms. A small amount of energy is released during this process as the bonds within the molecule are broken. This is the catabolic reaction. So as we can see in the diagram, glucose was processed and two ATP and two ADP molecules are generated, which are a form of energy. And by this process, two triose phosphate was generated, or it is a form of fructose, we can say. Then uh, further processing takes place in which two NAD and two NADH and two NAD plus molecules are generated, and 4 ADP and 4 ATP molecules are generated, and finally the end product is generated, which is 2 pyruvate. The second step is the acetyl group formation. So a CO enzyme made of vitamin B and called COA bonds with two of the carbon atoms in pyruvate, forming an acetyl molecule group. Then COA kicks out the third carbon atom of pyruvate. This formation occurs within the mitochondria of the cell. The carbon atom which was kicked from the pyruvate is free, and it combines with the two free floating oxygen atoms to form CO2, which is further exhaled. Then step 3 came in process, which is the Krebs cycle. So step 3 occurs within the mitochondria of the cell. Under this, enzymes and coenzymes begin to break up the acetyl group, and COA goes back to work again in another place. The two carbon atoms are removed. They hook up with free floating oxygen atoms and end up being exhaled as CO2. In step 4, electron transform chain was formed. Under this, energy was released. So at this point, the hydrogen atoms have extra electrons attached to them. So the electron transport chain strips off the extra electrons and carries their energy away. The remaining hydrogen atom bonds with the oxygen atoms to form molecules of H2O water. So this occurs within the mitochondria of the cell. So this is the catabolic reaction. Then step 5 takes place, which is the ATP transforms the energy. As we know, ATP is the powerhouse of a cell, so the energy cannot get to part of the cell which is needed. So it has to be transported in a vehicle called adenosine triphosphate. So as we can see in the diagram, we have two ADP or adenosine diphosphate which picks up the energy. Then the ADP picks up another free floating phosphate which is basically a salt, and it becomes ATP. As now the our carrier has three phosphate molecules. Then reaching further, enzyme break off extra phosphate which release large amount of energy which is used in the further reactions. And then we again have two phosphate molecules which goes back again and picks up a free phosphate molecule, and it forms a cycle which continues, and it continuously generates energy. Then further, in step 6, newly created energy is used up. So the newly created energy now combines with the amino acids of protein to form new cytoplasm for the cells. This building up of organs and body tissue is anabolic process. Here, energy was combined with amino acids to form new growth. So anabolism maintains the cells and is responsible for growth of variety of compounds and tissues, as it combines certain components or compounds to produce new cells which result in new growth. It creates muscle, hair, skin, organs, flesh, bone, chemicals such as hormones and enzymes. Some hormones referred to as anabolic steroids help the body grow muscle. So influences on metabolism. So the metabolic rate of any living organism is defined as how fast the chemical process of metabolism takes place. So metabolic rate is influenced by five factors. Number one is extreme temperature changes, such as with fevers or the environment may increase or slow rates. Second one is the body size. Body size affects anabolic rate, as the greater the surface area is in relation to mass, the higher the metabolic rate needs to be just to stay warm. Third one is the metabolic rates are affected by age, means rates are high for young people as they are building new cell material during growth, but in adult metabolic rates drop to maintenance levels. Fourth one is the body composition affect metabolic rate. So lean tissue requires a higher rate than fatty tissue. Generally, women have a lower metabolic rate than men, and younger people have higher rate than older people who have started to lose lean tissue. The fifth and the last one is the energy supplies can affect metabolism in such a way when the energy supply is scarce or severely limited, metabolic rates decreases. Thank you.